Thanks to a wonderful set of panelists. Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Sucharita. And thanks, Abhi. And fantastic weaving it together by Karan. This is the second session now, and it's going to be more exciting as we get along. And it is about a concept which Karan co-founded with others. He's the founder of the concept, and he's going to talk about it. Mr. Karan Mangat.
Sorry, you're going to see my boring face again, but I know it scares the hell out of everybody, but that's the fact of the matter. When I sat on the panel discussion, I really wasn't sure what the panelists were going to say. I had no idea what they were going to talk about. I knew the concept that I had, and I'm actually quite surprised by the number of points that the panel has actually raised, which are very, very relevant for what you're actually going to see now. Skill Beyond Boundaries is something that was conceived in 2017. And this was a very stupid idea from a very stupid man. Unfortunately, it seems to be reasonably interesting now. So the reason why this idea came about is because I have a very bad habit of challenging things. And every time I challenge something, I came up with these statements. Simple statements. This is how we do things around here. Follow the process. If it's not broke, why fix it? So I would break it. And then ask someone to fix it. But the result of that was I was chucked out of the company. So I said, someone here likes it. Sanjay really likes that.
Whatever happens for your good.
Yeah. So I was actually asked to leave from a couple of companies because of this. So that's when I said, what do we do? And I ran an HR company. I worked on the side of talent seeking, in talent supplying. So having looked at all of that, I had to find a conclusion. We have an industry that's almost 200 years old. And in 200 years, I haven't seen this industry changing much. And I looked at some very, very interesting numbers. The numbers that I'm talking about are the cost that we are paying for hiring. What you see here is the cost of permanent recruitment. That's nearly 6,500 crores per year this year. And that's 8.33% of what we are paying our employees. And we've got another 43,000 crores. This is, of course, for flexi staffing. Again, we are paying middlemen part of that. Why? Why? Why haven't we challenged it? Why haven't we disrupted it? We haven't disrupted it because of the dependence that we have on other parties. Yes, there are payroll and training companies that we have to depend on. We've got the HR management companies we have to depend on. We've got our recruiters, and we've got our temp staff companies. We can't do anything because of the barriers that we have created, the walls that we have created amongst ourselves. We are all the same industry, or multiple industries, intra-industry, inter-industry. We have created walls. We don't speak to each other. I think it was Abhi on the panel who mentioned that we need to communicate. So that's what I did. Right. So I looked at the current industry, and I said, let me break those shackles. And this platform is what is going to enable us to do precisely that. We will coordinate, cooperate, work with each other for human capital. Human capital is our most expensive and our most important talent. And the only way we are going to be able to break the cycle that we are in is by coordinating and cooperating. And that's when part of this 9,000 crores that we are paying out, we are going to recoup back. Part of this 44,000 crores that we are paying out, we are going to recoup back. There's going to be no other way to do it. And that's when I started Skill Beyond Boundaries. Skill Beyond Boundaries is, there seems to be a disconnect between my system and this system, so I'm going to have to move here. Skill Beyond Boundaries is a company I started in the UK. We are registered in the UK. The reason I started this company is to create a platform that is going to enable us, the industries, to work with each other, to share talent with each other, to share human capital, and change the paradigm of human capital management. The three key pillars that we need in our industry are discretion, security, and of course, confidentiality. I'll explain to you how I brought that in. And please feel free to stop and ask me questions anywhere. I'm not going to need to have questions later, so anytime you want, stop. And that's my promise to you. I'm promising that the platform that you have, the platform that we are going to create together, the platform that we are going to grow together, is actually secure, is actually discreet, and it is actually confidential. From a security standpoint, I'm following all of the GDPR norms. I'm following all the norms for safety and security in IT that are possible. I'm not going to say I'm 100% secure at this point in time, because I don't think we can be 100% secure. And what is the most important thing is that we, on this platform, will have all of us as members. And when we are members, we need to be sure that we have the right people coming on the platform and we don't have the wrong people coming in. So that's the level of security I'm offering. Confidentiality. This was something one of my co-creators said when I did the beta launch of the platform. He said, why should I tell the other members I've got X numbers of talents that I can't use? Or why do I have to tell everybody that I have an X shortage of talent? Why do I advertise to everybody? So that's when we said, all right, understand your point. And that's where we have 100% insulation of this information between members till such time that the member stakeholders decide we would like to expose one to the other. This is a point that you might want to understand a little more. I'm happy to explain after this session. If anybody wants a detailed demo, I can arrange that with my team, because if I get into this, I'm going to be here most evening, and I'm sure you're going to chuck me out in another 10 minutes. Discrete. Again, if we are not discrete, if we are not going to be able to manage people's privacies, we have a problem. So what we did is we created a proprietary workflow. This workflow has gone through rigorous testing with 4 different companies who are co-creators. They were the first people to come on with us, and they are going to be marked as our co-creators through the life of this platform. The other thing that we have done is we have created access controls at a super user level, which is actually no different from any other platform. But that's, again, the other thing we have done from a discussion standpoint. So what's the conundrum? What's the challenge? What's the human capital issue that we face? We've got the human capital balance and we've got the organizational aspirations. Unfortunately, the balance is always tilted towards the organization rather than towards our people. And what our people want is nothing more than security, safety, confidence that, yes, I'm going to be taken care of. And this has been raised by a number of people. I lose people, they go away. Some of them go away, why? Because they don't get an opportunity with us. Now, if you have someone, and let's say someone there says, listen, I've got an opportunity. I'm not using someone, or I'm misusing someone, underutilizing someone, and I give that talent to the other individual for a year, 2 years, the person can come back to me. I'm going to drive loyalty. We create a global pool. We don't need to retain pools within our companies. The other aspiration is growth. Everybody, all of us want growth. If we can't provide it, why can't we exchange it? Why do we have to then pay a third person who is going to headhunt the individual from us, take money, and give it to somebody else. That's where you're going to be, that's where you have safety. So if you don't want to give someone to a competitor, you have the option, because this is B2B, this is not about individuals. This is not about individuals, it's about a business to a business. We've got a 3-step process. The confidentiality that I was talking about, that's where this comes in. So at the first step, I as company A goes to the platform and I search a particular skill that I like. I don't know who that skill belongs to. I don't know who that skill is. I've got no information except that I like the skill. That's your diversity. I don't know the gender. I don't know the ethnicity. I don't know the age. I don't know anything else. I just know that's the skill I want. I say, right, I like the skill. So you would get a message saying that Karan Mangat, not the name of Karan Mangat, but company XYZ likes the skill. You say, this company, no, it's a competitor, don't want to deal. You cut it there, all I get information is, this skill is not available to you. You say, yep, I like the skill. I get a message saying that company ABC is happy to share the skill with you. I have the option now saying, do I want to deal with ABC or not? If I say no, it ends there. If I say yes, that is when a transaction or a handshake happens. That is when both of us reveal, and that's what I said as a member, it's only when we as the members decide to showcase our face is the face shown, not before that.
In a similar case, the resource that the company wants to share.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how does the company do that? Number one. Number two is, what if the resource himself or herself is not willing?
So there are going to be HR challenges. There are going to be challenges from a resource movement standpoint. But you've already declared within the resource profile what the resource is, where the resource is going to move or not move. Your contracts are such, as it is all of our companies, our contracts are such that the individual or the talent is working for a company outside. It's not necessarily working for you. Even if they're working on a project or they're working on a program, they're working for somebody else. They're not working for you. You're paying them all right, but they're not really working for you. So if you think about it in that sense, the second point is taken care of. The first point, if you can repeat that, I'll answer that for you.
How does the company decide? How does the company decide which resource that they're going to share with others?
So what we have is, you can create an internal pool. This is not just about being external. You create an internal pool because you've got internal divisions. You've got a large organization. You've got multiple divisions. You really don't want to share with anybody else. You just want to work within your divisions. So you have your pool inside. Your division members within your domain can see all of that pool. You've got controllers, the workflow I mentioned earlier, the proprietary workflow. That proprietary workflow enables you to decide whether you want that profile to be visible outside to all members or not. You can always change that position because you are the resource members of your organization. So you manage them.
When you talk of skill, is it a technical skill that you're talking about?
Can be.
Is it a technical skill we're talking about, or is it any other skills?
It can be any skill.
Right,
It's
because,
talent.
when you talk of a talent, you talk about not just technical skills, you talk about behavioral skills and all of those, right? So when you hire, there's a lot of discussion that goes on. I'm sure every organization, you have 2-3 rounds of levels of interviews,
Correct.
and you have your assessments and, several areas of competency examinations that happen. So how do you do that fitment on this tool?
So that's going to be growing over a period of time. I don't have it in the beginning.
Okay.
Right? Now, because I can't put that in straight away without having sufficient data to be able to build it in. But what you asked for has already been thought of, it's already been planned in. So when you look at the profile, it has got all of that. What's going to happen is over a period of time, that skill is going to be validated. That skill is going to be reviewed by peers. Even today, when a skill goes on, unlike in a job database where I just go there and put my profile in, Today I put my profile in as a program manager, or I put my profile in as a CEO, CTO, and then I don't get a job, so next day I decide, right, I'm going to be a PMO now, and I change the whole profile and become a PMO. You can't do that here, because when you submit your profile, you've got a leader over you who's got to approve all of the information that you've put in. That then goes to your organization's talent manager. The talent manager looks at that and decides whether that's all of that information is correct or not. From that point on, that skill group cannot change. You can add to it, but if you've got to edit it, it's got to go through an approval process. After going through that approval process, all edits will be visible to anybody who's going to see it. So as we grow, and that includes behavioral, that includes technical, that includes social, that includes all of the information that an organization puts up, to the extent that an organization can even say, listen, we've done the background check. Now imagine if you've got the background check certificate, you've got everything else all the way up to a certain point, and the skill moves. You don't need a background check because it's all done. And that's for us to do. We are the industry, not a third party, not someone from the outside. It's us managing ourselves. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay. So the traditional, so the traditional methods that we have continue to be searching for talent, hiring a third party to do the talent management for us, or talent search for us. We've got retention programs that we're trying to run. We've got our standard retrenchment processes. Now the problem with the retrenchment process is that it drains a lot of people. It drains the HR, it drains the resources, and it drains the company's brand. The same people that we retrench, we don't retrench just because they're not useful. We may be retrenching them because there's a strategy change. I've got a couple of friends here who are in the recruitment line. I'm sure they hate me right now, but that's the fact of the matter. That's the social impact that we are putting on our people. And this is a platform, this is an enabler that's going to help us in that social management. I'll explain that to you on this slide. We as the members of this platform, we will be able to manage everything because we will be able to share skills across ourselves. We will actually communicate with each other. So it's not just inter and intra-industry. We've got friends here from the construction industry. We've got friends here from the healthcare industry. Now while the healthcare industry might want IT skills, we've got a project with an IT company has got a program with a healthcare company. We might want a radiologist. We can go there and take it from there. Today we are struggling to do all of those. So that's the power of inter and intra-industry. And then we have got internal management. We've got a number of tools that we use for internal management. But we don't have a single tool that allows us both collaboration as well as internal management. So this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm presenting to all of us here. Enhancement. So we talk about training. We talk about providing opportunities. Why do we think about providing opportunities just within our own organizations? If we've got the right skill and there's a young startup who needs certain people, why can't we give our skill to a startup? Say, right, here you go. This person is for you. 1 year, 2 year, 6 months, whatever the case may be. They're excited because they've got a much larger role. They're learning at the same time, and they come back to you refreshed. And this can be done across multiple scenarios. Someone else has a training need. When we have a training need, we are going out searching for trainers. Abhi has got somebody who's got training capability. So we ask Abhi, can you actually give us this person? I need this person once a day, twice a week. All right, off you go. We've got people we are training. We are managing them much better. We are managing them different. We are opening them for consulting opportunities. This is on a road. This is a roadmap, which I'm not sharing right now because there are a number of things that I'm going to be bringing in over the next 6 months, which I will circulate to all of our stakeholders to get an understanding of which way we are headed. Consulting. We have people available to us with knowledge, with capabilities that can be used by non-competitors. We can open all of them up. We don't have to transfer that skill again. We just give them for consulting. And the biggest, most important point, a silent revenue generator. When we can manage our talent better, HR can actually become a revenue generator. Social impact, that's what I had mentioned earlier. If we don't let our people feel as if we have let them go, as though they're not capable, I think as an industry we have won. And I'm going to conclude here. My team is available, I'm available. I'm going to take questions now and later, but my ask is very simple. We as an industry, we say, we collaborate, we share, we save, and then we repeat again and again. And I can promise you that we will disrupt the existing form of the industry. Questions? Yeah?
How does this work? Is it that I introduce all my team to the platform and also look for opportunities? How is it actually going forward?
So the choice is yours. The platform has got both. If you've got requirements, you can share your requirements on the platform. So you're telling the members that this is something that I need. Members can respond and say, right, we've got skills that will fulfill your need. On the flip side, you can go to the platform, search for the skills that other members have showcased to you. You would have a number of skills that you're not going to showcase to everybody because you're going to keep them internal. You have a company of 200 people, 400 people, 2,000 people, 100,000 people. 100,000 people, you might want to just showcase 4 people, that's fine. You want to showcase 200 people, that's fine. That's a choice that you make as a member. So whatever is visible, you can do it either way.
So is it like a WhatsApp group where you share that, yeah, I have 10 people available, so these guys, somebody will respond back? Or is it, okay, I shout and say, I need 5 people of so-and-so skill and somebody else will respond back? Is it almost like a WhatsApp group or is it something different?
It is not. It's not like a WhatsApp group because on the WhatsApp group, you don't have security and you don't have confidentiality. You're losing both of those. Here, when I go on and see a requirement, I'm not really sure who that requirement is from. All I know is that these are the skills that are needed by somebody in the member group. Then I can respond to the individual and say, listen, I am so-and-so, and I have skills. It's up to you to select them or not. Similarly, what you are going in and there seeing are sets of skills. You've got no idea whether they're from one company, they're from 10 companies, or from 100 companies. You are selecting those skills. You may choose to say that I'm only going to select them from one company, but that's when you have a large requirement. If you've got 1 or 2 requirements, you're not actually going to go out and advertise that I've got 1 requirement. So you would just go in there, look for the skill you want, look for 2 or 3 skills. The advantage is going to be here, the biggest advantage is going to be you're not on a portal, you're not on a job portal, you're not going to go and look for 30, 40 CVs and then select 5 out of that, out of which you will select 1 candidate who's then going to reject your offer because he's got an alternate offer. So it's completely confidential till the last point.
Is somebody going to present the whole thing or is it that it is just company to company?
It's company to company.
No facilitation?
Nope.
And also,
That's the enabler. Platform is the enabler. that platform does your facilitation.
And also it will solve the 90 days problem. I mean, generally we have a 3 months notice period. Right?
Yeah. Why would you have a notice period?
Yeah.
You as the organization are offering the talent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Correct, correct. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Devesh.
Yeah.
Wanted to understand what would be the incentive structure for the employee who's offering his services through the platform. Secondly, have you given any thought to breaking up the deliverables, or for the employee to, in a sense, be able to bid for deliverables? Let's say it's a 1 week engagement or a 1 month engagement or a year worth engagement, stuff like that. So how do those details work out?
The employee is not managing or responding. You as the company owner, if you are the designate to manage talent exchange between companies, if you are the organizational designate to have that collaborative position, you will manage that, not the employee.
Do you intend addressing competitive landscape or non-compete kind of situations that may occur between two of your partners?
We disrupt that. We disrupt precisely that. We are saying this is a talent pool for our industry. And where it is competition, you have the option of declining to either take the resource or offer the resource.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
your good name please?
Karan Mangat.
Mr. Karan. By now you must be already knowing
Yeah.
that not among the organizations, but within the organizations, between the divisions, it's not happening.
It is not.
Yeah.
It is not happening.
Yes, isn't it?
Yep.
So, first I suppose is to encourage it within the organization, among the divisions, and maybe, I don't know, I mean.
So that's up to you how you use the platform.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I'm not joking. This is a platform that's yours. You've got your internal resources. You keep them internal. Your talent managers within the organization identify whether a resource is available or not available, can be used for a contract, can be used, and I'm not even talking about external contracts, I'm talking about internal contracts. Is available for part-time, available for 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, available on a transfer from one division to another division, and anybody within your domain can go in there, look at the skills, and actually tell the responsible officer, I would like that skill.
The main risk area is the confidentiality. Like there are two things. One is the place where he's working, and he might share the practices that are happening there with others. So, isn't it? Like suppose a particular practice is doing, he might feel that he is better than the other place. So he would like to share it there, or vice versa. He might take it from the other side.
I'm actually sorry to say this, but the fact of the matter is, we have this beautiful cliche that we talk about in the industry. I have got something that nobody else has.
Achha.
And then we say we follow SDLC. Really? Somehow I don't understand that.
Of course.
If my understanding is correct, so it's not something that you are collaborating with any kind of a talent acquisition. It's like an organization who has people,
Yeah.
right? And then it's a kind of a motivation for, an employee. A simple example, let me take, they would have lost a big business, right?
Yep.
And I have about 100, 150 people just coming onto the bench, right? And how would I make sure that they will be redeployed? If I don't have an opportunity, can I just use this as an opportunity as a platform?
You can.
That's the concept, right?
That's the concept. Simple example. I've actually initiated discussions with somebody. I've got to go back and finish those discussions. One of the retail companies is winding up. Among the number of retail companies that are winding up in UK, they've got about 45 stores in UK. They are losing around 3,500 people. I know that they haven't declared shut down yet, and I know that they are heading for liquidation. So I'm already started discussions with them that you can start to open the platform out. On the platform, you can start to open the resources out. And then I go out across to other retail companies that I know are doing well in the UK. And I say, you're looking for people. You're paying somebody in the UK, we're paying 12.5% minimum, 25% maximum. You're paying that kind of money. So why don't you just go and use this? So it's a win-win for all of us.
So I have a question. So let's say I don't really have a huge list of people that I would like to deploy. However, I would just like to use this platform just to seek candidates. Is that okay?
That's your call. As long as you follow, you meet all the criteria for being a member on this platform.
Sure.
You can do what you want.
So my tag is going to be up there.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to, say this. It's really a great idea, and I'm sure that no one would have thought through. I'm sure it's going to be a disruption, right? It's just that I'm little cognizant about the data, which each individual has to have in the organization needs to be very much authentic. That's the key for the success.
It is. The data of the corporate remains within that domain. Only if the data is moving domain. When I say moving domain, I basically mean when you're doing a permanent transfer, that data moves from one domain to the other domain. From a back-end standpoint, the data sits on a very secure site. It follows GDPR norms, which effectively means that Indian data sits in India, American data sits in America, English data sits in England, European data sits in Europe. So that is something which I am not going to compromise under any circumstances.
Yeah, just one last question.
Sure.
So, well, again, right, conceptually, it really helps the entire industry, irrespective of, whichever vertical or we are in. But don't you think that, as an organization, if I had to run a business, I'll have a threat of losing my talent for my competition, or, I might be in, because that's a notion that I continue to have it, right?
You will. Till the time somebody's already overtaken you.
Which is true.
So you have to decide the risk you want, decide whether you want to be part of the disruption or follow the disruption.
So we're going to lose talent anyways. If you don't deploy them elsewhere through the engine, then they're going to leave the organization.
No, which is true, but usually, I keep bench because, I would anticipate, the new project to come in and all, right, so.
It's not just for bench though, so, and this is the reason why I was so excited about what they're doing. If you think about it, there are so many industries that go through cycles. Like where I live, we get 5 million visitors from March to the middle of September. And 3 short hours away, they get all of their visitors from October to March, because they're a tourism place in the winter and we're a tourism place in the summer. So if you think about that, there's this constant issue of businesses that cannot afford to hold their labor during the off season. Income tax, companies that do taxes, that's a perfect example of that. But then if you think about how tough visas are right now, if somebody loses their position or a contract ends and they happen to be in America, they have 60 days to find another position or exit. With this, you can keep them there because the ownership of the employee doesn't change. And so, as from a visa perspective, that employee is protected, your company is protected. So there's a lot of uses if you take your hat off of your fear of, well, what if I lose my person to them? And I would say you're losing them anyhow. Yeah.
My question is about the cost sharing part. How it will happen?
The cost is fairly simple. You've got a membership fee, which is your joining fee.
So between 2 companies?
That's between the 2 companies. I'm not going to be, the platform doesn't have anything to do with that. The IPR in what sense? You would have legal documents that you're signing. So you would be managing your IPR through the legal documents that are the standard legal channels. You can't change the legalities that are required.
How about the platform licensing model?
This is a membership model. It's not a licensing model.
How it works basically?
You just become a member. It's your platform. That's why it's members. So as long as you keep your membership, you're a member. The day you decide, don't want to be a member, okay.
So this particular thing, in a way, will match those particular talent between two organizations, and the things would be taken care by the organization. It's not like, it is not going to facilitate how the particular thing would happen, how the data or development somebody asked, even the financial transaction is not going to take care of those aspects.
No. This is just an enabler. This is our area to collaborate.
That means this particular would also
it would actually relieve a number of people.
So they can focus on these kind of
focus on this, and actually you might have to cut down your overall team that you currently have to manage this huge churn of work that you're doing.
I wanted to distinguish between people who are fully employed in an organization who are considered 100% useful versus people who, because of various reasons, something to do with the organization or their own skills, are not 100% getting utilized. And the HR may want to open up these people, you know, if they have some part-time available, to other people's activities. And my first question regarding, you know, the cost part or the incentive for the employee was coming from there. Because if the guy is, you know, he's paid by his organization to maybe 100% or 70% extent, he may not have a sufficient incentive to become part of the marketplace, so to say. So my question about the incentives was coming from there.
So again, the response to that is, it's not an individual's decision. It's the company's decision. The company says, I want you to do 2 days of work here. The employee has two options. No, I will not. Or, okay, I will. Or give you a reason why they cannot. As an HR, you still have the HR role to decide what action needs to be taken. So you will still continue your carrot and stick. It's not going to stop the carrot and stick, but it is giving you an option of using the current techniques of talent management in a slightly different manner, in a much more expanded manner, and without the need for a third party.
So, the employment letter, there has to be change that clause also.
Can likely be.
Right?
Can quite likely be. Can quite likely be. And I know in the next 3 years, I'm going to have the governments chasing me, and I'm going to be working for you with the legislations to try and see how we make certain changes.
All the best,
Well, I mean, if you're already a consulting firm, you're assigning them to a consultancy project. If you're already in the business of consulting, you're assigning them to another project. And I think it kind of answers the question of how do you eliminate the boredom that a lot of young people have, where they want variety of project after project after project. So, you know, I mean, the reality is nobody wants to sit on the bench. It's a sad place to be. I've been there. You know, when you're waiting for that project to begin, nobody wants to be there. And then there are other guys, like my friend Satish here, who may have a project that's going to last 3 weeks, and he knows he's going to need 20 people for 3 weeks and never again, you know, until the next big project comes along. For him, he's happy, and for your people who don't want to be sitting on the bench, they get an opportunity to build. That's why I like the idea.
How does the costing model work here?
Very, very simple. Very simple, and that's why it is beneficial from an industry standpoint. There's a membership fee, and then there's a very, very small transaction fee. So you've got gold. It's up to you whether you want a bronze, gold, silver, platinum. I don't know. I've got Vikas who does all that mundane stuff for me. Don't tell him that. So
I also see a benefit to both the employee and the employer from the standpoint that these people that Ed's saying may be getting bored on the bench, which I certainly would be too, they can go to another agency and get more skills.
They can, yeah.
Which is something they're really craving. And the employer doesn't have, their current employer doesn't have to pay for those skills. So they're getting skills paid for by another company, and when that person comes back, they have even more skills to contribute to their organization.
absolutely.
So it's a
Absolutely,
win-win.
yes.
So these proceeds, excuse me.
Sorry. But
These proceeds will be given to the organization or employee?
what proceeds?
The payment
The salary is paid to the employee.
directly to the employee?
It's your employee. You're paying them a salary.
No, if I'm availing this.
If you give your people to somebody else,
Yeah.
they pay you.
And if I'm availing the people of others?
If you're availing people from others, you pay them.
Them means? The company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's business to business.
Okay.
It's plain business to business.
Right.
Yeah, Kiran, sorry, Karan. I'm asking, is the platform already up? Can we try it?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
We can. We will be happy to share with you. Are we happy to share the credentials for the training mode? My boss says yes, we can.
And the other question is the membership fee same for an Infosys and a small company like us?
It's the one that you choose. So we've got, like I said, the bronze, silver is all dependent on the size of the company. If a large company decides to take a smaller membership, in the transaction fee, they'll end up paying more.
Okay. And can a freelancer also put themselves there? No?
Nope.
Okay.
So do you have an FAQs that they can understand all these things, like a brochure and an FAQs?
We'll be giving you a brochure, and whatever, we've got all your email IDs. We will circulate material on this for you.
Technically, I'm not releasing anyone. It's just that the employees with me, I'm just giving you for a...
You're not even giving me for loan. It's not even, like I said, that's your platform. You're just collaborating with others. I've got nothing to do in it. All I've done is I'm just managing and maintaining this location, this site, this platform for you. And if I'm failing on that, you've got somebody to catch. That's all there is.
So next month, if I'm releasing a new version of my software and we want to add a feature.
So I don't want to hire a full-time employee.
Yeah.
I want to hire only for a month or so who has this capability of .NET developer or something.
Yeah.
So I can go into your platform and then I can search for that particular person.
Yep, absolutely.
That's one thing. So the second thing is if I'm lacking with my digital marketing.
Yeah.
So with that digital marketing, if I'm going again to your platform and then if I'm checking for the particular company who's great with the digital marketing, and then from that company, I'm going to ask them, hey, do you have this particular skill sets which they are going to boom our business? So can I find those two things within the...
No. Because you're only looking at skills.
Okay.
I'll just come back to you.
So like any company, a recruiter company can also be part of that, be a member, right?
No.
So you're doing the validation for that?
If you own, yes, we are doing validation for that. If you own skills, if they belong to you, you're welcome. If you're going to try and find someone and try and fleece us, sorry, no.
But a recruiter company also is a company who is having some...
If you've got your resources, you can put your resources. If you're going to put a resource that doesn't belong to you, no.
Got it. Yeah.
Karan, I have a question.
Sorry, just 1 second. There was a quick question from there. You are.
So would it be like Microsoft or Infosys or a mid-level and
Everybody. Everybody is a potential member of this. And when you receive the pack and you see the roadmap, that's when you will see what it is. Because I can stand here now and I can talk for another 1 day. I can talk on that roadmap. right? I'm very excited. I can just go on and on and on. The problem is you're going to get equally excited. And we'll end up here.
As I believe that as we talked about, your initial desire is the 200 to 5,000 person
Companies.
organization, not the Infosys and the Wipros. They will come later.
They will come later. Sorry, your question?
So my question was similar to what somebody asked about digital marketing.
Yeah.
So what if I have a team who's into digital marketing and they have skills in digital marketing, can he avail of my service?
He can, because you would have showcased your digital skills over there.
Right.
So when he goes and looks for digital skills, he finds the skills that he has, he'll approach you.
So skills will be put up.
Absolutely.
Resources and skills, number, head count, and skills.
Yes.
Karan, in continuation. So it's basically a platform where all your members would post their demands, and all your members can view the demands and also post their resource.
Both. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
All right. I'd like to appreciate your effort. I mean, it's wonderful and the industry really needs it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Sorry, one last question. You wanted a question?
No,
okay.
I'm good at
Ed?
How many companies are using that now?
I've got 4 co-creators. This is the town I was born in. This is the town I grew up in. This is the town where this platform became real. This is the town I'm unveiling the platform after 2 years of stealth. Thank you very much. Much appreciate your patience and listening to my droning voice. Thank you. My boss has just reminded me again. He said you forgot one point. He said that anybody who wants to become a member today, their membership will start today, but their membership fee kicks for a year from September onwards. Right? The reason for that is I have committed that if we don't deliver value to you, if this platform is not delivering value, come back to us and say, I'm not getting value. If you find that you've used it or you've learned it, you've tried it, and it still doesn't deliver value, then we are happy to take care of you. Thank you. Thanks, Vikas.